Imagine living without the most defining feature of human identity, the face. Around the world, there are extraordinary individuals who were born without facial features, or who lost them due to rare conditions, accidents, or surgeries. Their stories are not only shocking, but also inspiring, showing how the human spirit can overcome unimaginable challenges. Today, we'll uncover 10 unique and strange people in the world who prove that even without a face, life can still shine with strength, resilience, and hope. Are you new in this video? Click subscribe and hit notification bell, so let's get started. Richard Norris is a man from Virginia whose life was forever changed by a tragic accident, and later by an extraordinary medical miracle. In 1997, when he was in his early 20s, Norris accidentally shot himself in the face. The blast destroyed huge portions of his lower face, his nose, lips, jaw, chin, much of his tongue, leaving him severely disfigured. For years after the accident, Richard lived in isolation. He largely avoided public life, covering mirrors in his home, rarely going outside without a mask, eating and moving only at night, and suffered with deep emotional pain, including depression and thoughts of suicide. Conventional reconstructive surgeries using his own tissue were attempted over many years, but could not restore his face adequately. Then, in March 2012, Richard Norris became the recipient of what was called the most extensive face transplant ever attempted. Dr. Eduardo Rodriguez and a surgical team at the University of Maryland Medical Center transplanted a full donor face. Skin, muscles, nerves, bone, upper and lower jaw, portion of tongue, facial tissue from scalp to neck, from a deceased donor to Richard. The surgery lasted about 36 hours. After the surgery, Richard faced many challenges, relearning how to eat, how to talk, and dealing with immunosuppressant drugs to prevent his body rejecting the transplant. He has had complications, including kidney issues due to the lifelong medication regimen. Over time, Richard has worked to rebuild his life. He has taken online classes, expressed a wish to help others in similar situations, and tried to find meaning and stability, surrounded by support from family and doctors. But the psychological impact is ongoing. Living with another person's facial structure, managing strangers' reactions, and coping with daily risks of rejection are constant parts of his reality. Isabelle Dinoir, born the 3rd of February 1967 in Maubeuge, France, became world famous as the first person to undergo a successful partial face transplant. In May 2005, Dinoir was severely mutilated by her pet dog. While unconscious after taking sleeping pills, she was bitten in the face. The injuries destroyed or badly damaged her nose, lips, chin, cheeks, leaving her disfigured and unable to speak or eat normally. On the 27th of November 2005, a surgical team led by Bernard de Vauchel and Jean-Michel Dubernard performed a 15-hour operation at Amiens Hospital. They transplanted what is often described as a triangle of donor tissue, including nose, lips, and chin, from a brain-dead donor to replace the damaged parts of Dinoir's face. This made medical history. Afterward, Isabelle underwent a long, difficult recovery. She dealt with limited function of her transplanted features at first, trouble speaking clearly, eating, and accepting the sensation of someone else's face. Over time, she regained sensation, smile, and facial mobility to a degree. Still, she faced complications. Episodes of immune rejection, needs for immunosuppressive drugs, psychological challenges, and scars were part of her journey. Isabelle Dinoir died at age 49 on the 22nd of April 2016 after a long illness. The cause was not publicly detailed in full, though some reports link health problems to the years of medication, immune suppression, and possibly cancer. Her death was announced later that year. Her case remains a landmark in reconstructive and transplant surgery. Ethically controversial, medically complex, but life-changing. She showed how far medical science can go and at what cost. In 2007, Carmen Tarlton, a nurse and mother of two, was brutally attacked by her estranged husband, who doused her with industrial-strength lye and beat her. The attack burned over 80% of her body, including her face, leaving her severely disfigured. Over the next several years, she endured more than 50 reconstructive surgeries just to try to restore what was lost. Some surgeries to restore her sight, others to reduce constant pain and tight scar tissue, which made simple things like moving her head or controlling her lips excruciating. In 2013, after being approved and waiting for a donor match, Carmen received a full face transplant at Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston. The donor was Cheryl Donnelly Ryder. The transplant brought huge improvements. Her pain decreased, her ability to control facial movement improved, ability to turn her head increased, and daily life became more manageable. She also became a motivational speaker and wrote a memoir titled Overcome, Burned, Blinded, and Blessed. However, over time, the transplanted face started to suffer from chronic rejection. Blood vessels beneath the skin began to close, causing tissue damage, tightening, scarring, swelling, and pain. Ultimately, in 2020, due to the decline, she underwent a second face transplant, becoming the first person in the U.S. to ever receive 2 face transplants. Carmen's story is both heartbreaking and inspiring. A journey of survival, medical wonder, resilience, and hope in the face of unimaginable trauma and adversity. Her story begins when at age 18, she attempted suicide by shooting herself in the face on March 25, 2014. The injury caused massive trauma, destroyed much of her facial bones, mouth, jaw, sinuses, and severely damaged her vision and brain functions. Over the next few years, Katie endured multiple reconstructive surgeries and medical treatments just to stabilize her condition. Her doctors performed jaw reconstructions and various preparatory work. In May 2017, after years of waiting and preparation, Katie underwent a 31-hour full face transplant at Cleveland Clinic at about age 21. The operation involved replacing nearly 100% of her facial tissue, including scalp, forehead, eyelids, nose, cheeks, upper jaw, and portions of lower jaw, from a donor, Andrea Schneider. Since the transplant, her recovery has included follow-up surgeries, extensive rehabilitation, and long-term care with anti-rejection medicines. Katie says she finally feels more whole, being able to touch her face again and work toward regaining basic functions like eating, breathing, and speaking. Her journey is not just medical but deeply emotional. She has spoken about identity, accepting her new face, and using her experience to raise awareness about suicide prevention and mental health. Latif Katana from Jammu, India, was born with a rare and severe condition called neurofibromatosis, a genetic disorder that causes tumors to grow on nerve tissue throughout the body. Since birth, Latif's face has been overtaken by large, sagging tumors, leaving him with little to no visible facial features. His eyes, completely covered by thick folds of skin, have left him nearly blind. Life hasn't been easy for Latif. For decades, he endured stares, insults, and rejection from people who couldn't understand his condition. Walking through crowds, he was often met with fear or cruelty, but despite the pain, Latif remained strong. And then something beautiful happened. Latif found love in Salima, a woman born without one of her feet. Their shared experience of living with disabilities brought them together, forming a bond built on acceptance and deep understanding. Against all odds, they built a family, and today, they're proud parents of 2 daughters. Still, like any parent, Latif worries. Neurofibromatosis is a genetic condition, and he fears that one day his children might show signs of the same disease. But despite those fears, Latif focuses on love, hope, and giving his children a life filled with strength and positivity. His story is a reminder that beauty is far more than skin deep. Latif may not have a face that the world is used to, but he has a heart full of courage, love, and resilience. Patrick Hardison is living proof that science can do the unimaginable, and that courage can carry someone through the unthinkable. In 2001, Patrick, a volunteer firefighter from Mississippi, responded to a house fire that would change his life forever. While searching for victims inside the burning home, the roof collapsed on him. He suffered third-degree burns across his entire face, head, scalp, and neck. His eyelids, ears, lips, and nose were completely destroyed. He survived, but he no longer looked like the man he once was. For 14 years, Patrick lived with immense physical pain and emotional trauma. Despite over 70 reconstructive surgeries, he still couldn't blink, close his mouth properly, or live a normal life. That was until 2015, when a groundbreaking opportunity emerged: a full-face transplant. Led by Dr. Eduardo Rodriguez at NYU Langone Medical Center, Patrick underwent one of the most extensive and complex face transplants in history. The surgery lasted over 26 hours, involved over 100 doctors, and used advanced 3D imaging to perfectly align bones, blood vessels, and nerves. The donor was a 26-year-old man named David Rodebaugh, who had tragically died in a bike accident. Through his selfless organ donation, Patrick was given a second chance, not just at survival, but at truly living again. Patrick's recovery was astonishing. Within months, he could blink, speak, and smile. He began to rebuild his confidence and even traveled to speak publicly about his journey. His story is not only a triumph of medicine, but a testament to human resilience, sacrifice, and the healing power of hope. Connie Culp, America's pioneer of face transplantation. Born of March 26, 1963, she was made medical history as the first United States recipient of a near-total face transplant at the Cleveland Clinic in December 2008. In September 2004, Connie was shot in the face by her husband during a failed murder-suicide attempt in her bar in Hopedale, Ohio. The blast destroyed her nose, cheeks, roof of her mouth, and one eye, leaving her unable to breathe unaided, eat solid food, or sense smell, and legally blind. Over 5 years, she endured 30 reconstructive surgeries before undergoing a groundbreaking 22-hour operation led by Dr. Mariah Siemianow. The surgery replaced 80% of her face, including bone, nerve, muscle, skin, blood vessels, and sinuses, from a deceased donor, Anna Casper. After the transplant, Connie regained vital functions. She could breathe on her own, eat, taste food, speak, smile, and smell again. Although her speech remained sometimes difficult and her vision limited, she achieved remarkable facial mobility and nerve regeneration. Connie spent the next decade advocating for organ donation, raising awareness of survivors of violence and disfigurement. Dr. Frank Papai described her as incredibly brave, an inspiration to many, and noted she was the longest-living face transplant recipient at the time of her passing. She passed away at age 57 from an infection unrelated to her transplant. Her legacy lives on as a testament to human resilience and medical innovation. Yahya El Jabaly, a Moroccan boy born in a village near Tangiers, entered the world with a rare and severe congenital condition. His facial bones failed to fuse properly during fetal development, resulting in the absence of eyes, a nose, and a functioning mouth. Additionally, parts of his skull were missing, leaving portions of his brain covered only by skin. For the first few years of his life, Yahya was confined to his home, as exposure to the outside world posed significant health risks. His parents sought medical assistance in Morocco, but were told that nothing could be done. However, hope emerged when a Moroccan-born woman living in Melbourne, Fatima Baraka, came across a photograph of Yahya on Facebook. Moved by his plight, she decided to help. Fatima facilitated Yahya's journey to Australia, where he was admitted to the Royal Children's Hospital in Melbourne. There, a team of surgeons led by Professor Tony Holmes performed an 18-hour reconstructive surgery to reconstruct his facial features. The operation was complex and fraught with risks, as Yahya had never undergone any medical procedures before and had no prior medical records. The surgery was a success, and Yahya's transformation was profound. He now has a nose, an upper jaw, and the ability to speak thanks to the preservation of his vocal cords. His case garnered international attention, highlighting the power of compassion and medical expertise in changing lives. Yahya's story is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the impact of global kindness. Meet Dallas Wiens, a Texan construction worker whose life changed forever in November 2008. While painting a church in Fort Worth, his lift accidentally touched a power line, leading to a devastating electrocution. The accident left him blind and stripped him of nearly all facial features. No eyelids, lips, nose, or eyebrows, just a small patch of chin remained. He spent 2 grueling months in Parkland Memorial undergoing over a dozen surgeries to remove dead tissue. Surgeons grafted skin from his back just to cover his face, yet he endured. Doctors feared he'd never walk, speak, or breathe normally again, and was likely permanently paralyzed. Then came a groundbreaking moment in March 2011. At Brigham and Women's Hospital, a 15-hour surgery led by Dr. Bowden Pomahak gave Dallas a full new face, from forehead to neck. The transplant included skin, muscles, nerves, lips, and nose, though sight was not recoverable. Miraculously, Dallas regained breathing, the sense of smell and taste, speech, and the ability to smile naturally. His daughter even called him handsome when she saw him for the first time post-surgery. By late 2011, he was walking, talking, feeling sensation in lips and cheeks, and able to take straw sips and even laugh out loud. Beyond medicine, Dallas's journey is one of courage and purpose. He's used his platform to raise awareness about organ and tissue donation, crediting his survival to the anonymous donor family. Despite blindness, he married Emily Bell in late 2023, raising their daughter and building a new life. Ravi Kumar, a 40-year-old man from Madurai, India, once lived an ordinary life, until a tiny pimple appeared on his face 3 years ago. What seemed harmless quickly turned into massive tumors that now cover his entire face, leaving him blind in one eye and unable to work. Ravi says the condition has devastated him financially, emotionally, and socially, as people struggle to even look at him. Despite countless doctor visits and medications, no treatment worked, until renowned surgeon Dr. Sunil Richardson offered hope. With funds raised for his surgery, Ravi now faces a chance to regain not only his sight, but also his dignity. "I just want to live like everyone else," Ravi says, holding on to hope that this surgery will finally change his life. Amina is a remarkable woman born in a remote village with a rare and severe facial deformity. She has no eyes and no nose and breathes only through her mouth. From birth, her appearance set her apart, and many in her community struggled to understand her condition. Despite this, Amina's story is not one of despair, but of incredible resilience and strength. Growing up, Amina faced immense challenges. Many people feared or misunderstood her, and the physical difficulties she endured were immense. Yet through the unwavering support of her family and community, she found a way to live a meaningful life. Over the years, she underwent multiple surgeries aimed at improving her health and appearance, demonstrating remarkable courage in the face of pain and uncertainty. What makes Amina truly inspiring is her determination to overcome not just the physical barriers, but also social stigma. She has become a symbol of hope and acceptance for people living with disabilities and differences around the world. Her story reminds us that true beauty lies beyond the surface, in strength, kindness, and perseverance. The documentary by Aframax English highlights her journey, showing how Amina's spirit shines brightly despite her condition. It invites viewers to reflect on empathy, the power of family support, and the resilience of the human spirit. Amina's life is a powerful testament to overcoming adversity and inspiring others to embrace their uniqueness. Meet Khadija Khatoon, a young woman from Kolkata, India, whose face tells a story of unimaginable strength and quiet courage. At just 23 years old, Khadija lives with a severe medical condition that has drastically transformed her appearance. What doctors believe is a form of neurofibromatosis, a rare genetic disorder that causes tumors to grow on nerve tissues. When she was born, her condition was barely noticeable. But over time, the growths expanded, eventually covering her eyes, nose, and mouth, making it impossible for her to see, speak clearly, or eat normally. Despite multiple surgical offers from doctors, Khadija has chosen not to undergo any operations, believing the risks are too great. Her decision is a powerful reminder that courage isn't always about fighting, it's also about accepting. Living in a crowded area of Kolkata, Khadija often faces cruel stares and uninvited photos from strangers. Children are frightened, and people point. But instead of hiding, she faces the world with dignity and patience. "I have learned to accept myself as I am," she says. Her inner strength and calmness have amazed even her own family. Her brother Lutfar speaks about the challenges she faces daily, while her father Muhammad calls her the only one in the universe, admiring her resilience through a life full of sorrows. In a world obsessed with appearances, Khadija reminds us that true beauty lies in the heart, not the face. Her story is not just about a medical condition, it's about a woman who refuses to be broken by circumstances. Khadija is proof that even in silence, you can be a symbol of unshakable human spirit. And that's the incredible journey of people who live without faces, each story a mix of pain, courage, and medical miracles. Their lives remind us that identity is more than just appearance, and true strength comes from within. If you found these stories inspiring and eye-opening, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to Aaron Polo TV for more unbelievable human stories from around the world. Until next time, stay curious and keep knowing more.